Hello everyone, my name is Curlin and I've decided to share how I recreated this dance with Gacha Club using only Ibis Paint X, CapCut, and of course, Gacha Club. Your first step is to get the body map of your character. Before you start, make sure to take a screenshot of your character. This will help you adjust the parts to the right sizes. As you may have noticed, the head still has the eyes and hair combined. You can separate them by messing with the hide options outside of the maps. Once you're done screenshotting all the parts, we can then move to Ibis Paint. Now we're moving to Ibis Paint so we can crop out the body parts and adjust them to their proper size. Putting the parts in named folders makes the parts easier to find during the animation process. It's not necessary to name the layers, I just do it so it looks neater. Then separate the eyes into the eyelashes, sclera, and pupils. Once you're done with the eyes, put them in a folder to keep things tidy. Import and erase the background of your full body screenshot. Then lower the opacity of the screenshot, as it will be a guide for aligning the parts together. Make sure all parts are on a layer of its own so that they stay separated. I'll be moving on to creating a front view of the character. Hopefully this example was good enough. I'm not sure how to explain this part, but just know that the transform tool is really important here. And if you're still confused, there are many tutorial videos from other GachaTubers to help you figure it out. But for now, I'll just zoom in on the time-lapse more. Use the X-axis slider so both sides are symmetrical. Get rid of any unusual bends in the lines. Just use the mesh form option in the transform tool to fix anything that looks weird. I think it's pretty understandable how you would make the rest of the parts in the different angles, so if you still want an in-depth explanation, then please tell me in the comments. Once you're done, you should have 5 folders of each angle with more folders in them containing body parts. Pretty easy, right? On step 3, we are finally getting to the animation. This is the part where I think most people would give up if they are following my method, and you'll see why. First thing I have to say is, don't do this method if you give up easily. This took 26 hours total across 3 to 4 days straight of non-stop rotating and stretching parts. This is so time-consuming that my wrist began hurting on the second day. However, if you're still determined to try this out, then I won't stop you. But please make sure to take frequent breaks, since even the minor problems can become serious if not taken seriously. Anyway, I'll show you the setup I had while animating the frames. I had one screen to my right on Ibis Paint, and on the left was my phone, which had the original animation playing. I slowed down the video to allow me to see each frame so I could use it as a reference. I don't know if you could tell, but when I was starting this out, I had no clue if it would look good since I had no playback option to look at. This was more of a trust the process situation, but as you may have seen, I grew some confidence near the end, which was why the animation was significantly more smoother than the first 10 seconds. I'll show you a more detailed look on how the poses were actually made. Apologies if this seems like a big cut. When I finished recording the first few poses, the video didn't save because I had no storage. I'll just continue from this point. First, duplicate your front-facing folder and open it up. I suggest to start working on the parts from the top and work your way down so that you don't forget to edit a part. I didn't follow that rule since I already got used to making the poses, but if you're confident then go ahead. Here, I'm recreating the start of the animation as I thought it was lacking the original animation's energy. If you noticed that the arms are different, I screenshotted many hands from Gacha Club so that it would be accurate to the animation. This isn't that necessary unless you want to add the finer details. Make sure you select the whole folder when moving arms so that the parts stay connected even when moved. I also encourage you to move every single part in each pose to make sure none of the frames look stiff. The twin tails have been bent using the mesh form option and the transform tool to make it look like it's flowing. The problem with this is that if you move the parts too much, they get blurred and their quality lowers. In these cases, just duplicate a new part from your folders that aren't being used and drag it back to the folder you're working on. By the way, the torso used here is the one from the right angle folder. This makes the character look like they're actually turning their body. Remember to switch back to the front-facing torso when the character is switching sides so the movement looks normal. When you're done making your pose, press on the full folder, then the second Add button, and finally press Add Layer from Folder. If you do not see this option, you may not have selected the folder before pressing the second Add button. Enjoy a small time-lapse of me making the final pose. Another tip is that you can add shadows to add a 3D aspect to your character, for example, when a leg is behind the other or the character is bending downwards. Finally, to tidy your layers up, compile the finished poses in one big folder. Eventually, it will look like this blob. Once you're finished every single pose, go to the Layers menu, then press on the 3 dots, and save each pose. Save layer as transparent button. After all poses are saved, you're going to end up with a gallery like this. We're past the hardest part. Now we can put together the poses to form the finished video. Hop onto CapCut and open a new project. Put a background of your choice. Add your poses one at a time as an overlay so that you don't lose track of what to move. Get a recording of the original animation, lower the speed to 0.1x, and put it in the corner of your screen so you can check when the next pose is needed. The reason I make the video in 0.1x first is that there's a limitation to how short a clip can be in CapCut. I just export the video and speed it up afterwards. Now, when you're moving the poses, you should always watch where the legs are. While I was making the old animation, I came to the conclusion that being able to see how the character is moving from different positions was important. I was using the tiled floor in my background as a guide to make sure the character didn't move forward or backward from the original position. However, in the walking part, I was sorta too lazy to fix it. Remove the original animation from the corner and export the video, preferably in 60 frames per second, then open a new project. Add the video from the previous project and speed it up to 10.0x, then line up where the first pose starts with the start of the animation. Watch it a few times to check if they are properly synced up. Since I remade the first few frames, here's the new animation with a slight improvement. Here's a comparison of the old and new version. I'll also slow them down. It's a small change, but I still think it looks better when it's accurate. Let's do a mini Q&A. I'll be answering frequent comments from my latest short video.
Do you even know what the lyrics of the song means?
Well, obviously. It's a pretty well-known fact that most Japanese songs have fun upbeat music while the lyrics aren't what you'd expect. I've already learnt from a past mistake to check what the lyrics mean in a song before using it, and even if I didn't, the fact that the word lolly is in the song's name would have already been a dead giveaway. And to be honest, the lyrics in that specific part of the song aren't even that bad. Plus, the whole reason for the video was because I liked the animation, not the song.
How did you have the patience to do this?
Looking back on it now, I'm not entirely sure myself. I kept thinking, did I seriously just spend 26 hours on this one video? And do people even know that this dance exists? What I did know is that I had a gut feeling that something good might come out of it, whether it was 10 likes or maybe even an encouraging comment to tell me I was doing good. Mind you, when I uploaded that short, the animation had only came up once or twice on my For You page and was only just starting to gain popularity. That's when I decided to speedrun that animation.
The gacha character doesn't even look like her.
Seems like you missed the title saying My Gacha Club OC. I admit that I worded it badly in the video, but no, it's not meant to look like her. The OC's name is Kaz and she is a 17-year-old influencer in the world of gacha. She is one of the many OCs I created while waiting for Gacha Club to have a new update.
Are you sure this is your first gacha animation?
Even now, I still find it iffy to call this an animation, but anyways, it is my first full-body gacha animation. If I remember correctly, The last time I animated gacha was in my hot chocolate meme, which was 5 years ago, and it was only the tail. I definitely have my knowledge of tweening and some art skills to thank when I was making the video. Well, that's the end of the video. I'm thoroughly impressed if someone has managed to get to this point. If someone has successfully followed this method, feel free to @ me. I'd love to see some of your results. Also, thank you all for all the lovely comments. I was really surprised to see that so many people liked the video. I'm not sure how many of you are willing to stay, but I'm glad you got to see a part of it. I'll be more active now that Gacha Life 2 is out, so if you want to see more from me, you're welcome back anytime.